You're totally fine. Fire away. Fire away when ready. You're totally great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a mystery. Here, let me get to the. It's a mystery. Here, let me get to the. Oh. Here, let me get to the. Oh, we will figure it out at some point. Oh, we will figure it out at some point. Oh, we will figure it out. We will figure it out. Yeah, this is. Mhm. Mhm. You know it. The matter is real. I love that for us. Yeah, yeah. Right? We do. We truly do. That'd be so great. That'd be so great. Apochromatic choir. Let's go. Right? Yeah. Oh wow. Oh shit. Oh wow. Right. Yeah, I'm ready when you are, my friend. Woohoo!
We are transitioned.
I'm just gonna pause here until he's
Did
ready
you
and then we're good.
say? Oh, what? No, we're live. We're live right
Oh.
now.
I wasn't sure if we were on or not, so I just stayed like that.
We're good. No, we're good. You were just gonna stay like that
Hey.
till I said something?
Yeah. I know you would have just let me
On
go
screensaver. Leona on
on
screensaver. Like,
screensaver.
what's up, y'all?
Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody.
I'm doing good. If you're asking me, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this game, actually. Um, I yeah. Oh, I don't want to be the type of person or group or whatever where we say we uplift the voice of people of color and then we don't uplift our own team with their games and their projects. And like, I don't know what it took to make this game, but I believe you put a lot of your heart into it. Heck yeah.
Okay. Definitely can't hear you. Okay, no worries. We're gonna figure this out. Definitely can't hear you. Okay, no worries. We're gonna figure this out. Definitely can't hear you. Okay, no worries. We're gonna figure this out. Definitely can't hear you. Okay, no worries. We're gonna figure this out. Now an echo. Go. You might have done it. You might have done it. Leona hand swoops in when Leona when audio fails. Da, 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 da. Let me know, chat, if you can hear me. Let me know, chat, if you can hear me. Let me know, chat, you can hear me. Can you keep me seeking? Ah! Oh, mean. Which is the only one who can say that shit and get away with it. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can. No, you can't hear my tape. Oh no!
How about now?
What is
Okay, there we
this?
go. I poked too many things.
Too many things.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
All right, now we should be
Are we?
good.
Are we good? We good? Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the whole making of this game started about mid September, honestly, because my good friend Kat, who is Peach Garden Games on Itch, and is a huge believer. Kat's whole thing is anyone can make a TTRPG, and so Kat even has a Twitch show called Take Flight where Kat runs. I don't remember Kat's pronouns, so Kat runs different folks through writing and creating their very first tabletop RPG.
Cool.
So Kat posted about this identity jam and was like, this is an upcoming game jam for the month of October that I've created. And I read Identity Jam and it said, oh, like stories that only you can tell. And that part really hit me. Like the whole point of Identity Jam was a story that only you can tell. And in that moment, I really I thought back to if you download Cage, my game off of Itch, you'll see the very last page is a poem that I wrote in Creative Writing 12. Or like not a poem, but like a prose piece. It's just a picture of it, but that was the prose piece that I wrote in grade 12 to kind of explain this feeling of like having a foot in two worlds and like the thing that I was struggling with so much. And I don't know, just reading the premise of Identity Jam just made me go, oh shit, I've got a really good idea for this actually. Like
Yeah.
I have a really cool story to tell because this is my story, but I don't know how to TTRPG. Period.
Yeah.
And Kat was like, Leona, you know that what I was just like, I know, Kat, I know. And Kat was like, okay, what is your problem? Like, what is holding you back? And I was like, I don't know game mechanics, period. Like, I just don't ask me, right? Like the game mechanics I sensitivity read, that's a whole nother ball game. But trying to come up with game mechanics for a game, that's no sir, no ma'am, no thank you. And Kat was like, have you considered an SRD? And just in that one sentence completely blew my mind. Because for some reason it had never fucking occurred to me that on Itch there are just SRDs roaming in the wild for free for you to just pick up and use.
For those who don't know what an SRD is, do you want to explain what an SRD is?
An SRD is a system resource document. And it is basically like it's like the bones. It's like the bones because the SRD for Cage is called the second chance system. And all this information is on my Itch page as well. And so the second chance system kind of like explains the game mechanics and its philosophies and beliefs and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a one pager kind of thing. It explains it super simple. Because Kat was like, have you considered an SRD? I was like, okay, Kat, here's the thing I want to talk about. And it's about how growing up, as like a first generation, like I was born and raised in Canada. My family immigrated here. I am a first generation Canadian. I am also deeply South Asian. And I have a foot literally in both worlds. And it's really hard. And I wrote about that as a child, and I want to talk about those childhood experiences. So like all of the experiences in the game are like up until the first 20 years of my life are in this game. Wow. 20 to 22 is maybe the highest cutoff of like my life experiences, which is why like I want to create a sequel about like my later 20s. But this is the first 20 years of my life kind of encapsulated. And so I told Kat about my idea, and like we jumped on a call, and like we brainstormed a whole bunch of things. And then Kat sent me this SRD for the second guest system, as well as a game that she had made using the second guest system of a completely different theme. Kat's game is about oh no, Nightbot is alive. Okay. Like Kat's game is about being like a tarot card reader at a fair, you know, like it's a very and it's like a romantic game because it's like this mysterious stranger comes into your tent and like you have to get them a tarot card reading, and like if you get a recurring symbol, like what does that mean for both of you? And then in the end, like do you go chase after them or do you just let them go? Like, you know, do you ask them about like what if they ask you for a love fortune? You know, it's very fun. So it was really neat to see an SRD and then to see a game that had been based on that SRD with a twist. Kat had kind of taken the twist of the second guest system and kind of made it her own, and she kind of tweaked it. So I pulled from both her game and from the second guest system, and I kind of smooshed it all together. So that's where it started, was literally there. And the writing I kind of spaced out. It was kind of like 2 fits of passion. Like it was just like, this is the kind of game listen, I'm a very cheerful person, and to write a game where I'm not happy, it was just like I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna get it out of me. And I got it out, and then I didn't look at it for like 2 weeks because I was like, nope, leave it alone. Let it cook. Don't look at it, because it is such a like deep level of emotional everything. So that's why I was like, nope, not gonna do it. And then about 2 weeks later I came back and I was able to actually like fill in the chart and then like figure out how I wanted the twist to work exactly, and then kind of took everything else, all of the like other bits and bones that I had written, and kind of like put it all together. And then I was like, you know what, because my written spoken like my prose piece from grade 12 was just black text on a sheet of white paper. I decided that the simplicity of keeping it black text on white screen was kind of how I just wanted to represent it visually. And like now that there's an extra month of Identity Jam, I might decide to go and make a prettier version, but like yeah, that was literally the entire process. And it was just like, all right, here's this SRD, here's this everything, and this was this core life experience. And I didn't know what I was going to put into the chart, but I knew the core life experience, and I knew that poem or prose piece, I guess it's more of a prose piece, was going to be the core like driving motivator for like the things that I wrote. And so yeah, it's based on the thing that I wrote in grade 12. And I just kind of made it come to life. And it's, you know, it's fun and it's interesting because your two outcomes are like Indian or like North American, and
So
they're good and bad to both.
that's not what's in the text.
I'm paraphrasing, but you're right. That's not what's in the text. But you're right. And like there are good and bad endings to both. Yeah, Western and Indian. Western, that's what I called it, because that was more yeah, like that's how like I feel like in South Asian culture we refer to it, right, as like, oh, this is very Western because we're originally Eastern.
Yeah.
So that was why I picked the word Western, because you know, even though I was born and raised in the West, like we call it Western. We talk about like, oh, don't be like Western people, don't be like white people, like, you know, like things like that. So it was just kind of like, yeah, and it's there's good and bads to both. And so I wanted the chart to have good and bads for both, and things where you felt the friction of both simultaneously. And I wanted things that give you points basically in each of the categories to both be good and bad things, right? Because it's very messy and it's very mixed up, and there's so much good to all of my life, and there's so much bad to all of my life. And you know, there's obviously some topics about my life that I didn't touch on because they're, you know, this wasn't the right place for that conversation. But yeah, this was the first 20 years of my life, and it's a time, you know. And it's like I have been through it was an interesting reflection to be like, I have been through a lot to become the cheerful person that I am today. Like that thought did occur to me partway through writing it. I was like, Jesus Christ, Neelam, what the hell? Like, but yeah, that was the entire train of thought. That was the entire train of thought. That was the entire process. Before I hit publish, I had a minor meltdown. I messaged a friend and said, "Is this too harsh? Please look at my game. Is this too harsh? Is my reality too harsh?" And I asked the question to them 3 times, and they were like, "If you keep asking that question, it doesn't make it any more true. Stop." Right? They were like, it doesn't make it any more true if you just keep asking, is my reality too harsh? It's your reality.
It really is.
Live it. Like, you're actively showing that. And the way you growing up must have felt the edges of those two worlds the most acutely when it was sharp and when it was harsh and when it was uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So they were like, so do it then. Like, what? don't hold back. Like, why? You know, like there was just that moment of like, I am so scared because this is so vulnerable and it's so different from my regular friendly vibe that I was like, what am I doing? And there we go. Now it's out. And thankfully, everyone seems to have really like appreciated it and resonated with it, which was really nice.
I think because it's so honest, because it's so vulnerable. It's rare sometimes that we see that type of vulnerability in public spaces. And so I think it's something that a lot of people can really connect to. Red said in the chat saying, you can read the chat, but Red said was saying, I can't imagine how much emotional labor went into it, you know?
Funnily enough, I feel like it was like 2-3 hour-ish writing sessions, I want to say. And I think beyond that, it was just like there was a level of emotional labor and like ruminating on it throughout my day and like thinking about how I wanted the game to work. But beyond that, I think the majority of the emotional labor was 2-3 hour writing sessions, to be very honest. Like this came together very slapdash and sudden. in the way that like divine inspiration just kind of strikes you and it just lights a fire under your ass and you're just like, all right, here we go. And that was it. Like it was literally that. I was like, okay, this is a train that I'm on, and it's just out it comes. Like there's just no, and I think that's emotional release sometimes. Is like sometimes we just like it just flows out of you, right? Like at no point did I stop, other than at the end, did I stop to question the stuff that I was writing, because it was just like, all right, here we go, out it comes. Like this is I've never talked about some of this stuff, and now I'm going to talk about it. Here we go. Let's, it was like ripping a Band-Aid off, kind of.
Ooh. I'm only gonna make one more point, and then because this isn't my podcast Nunshot where I interview Leona for an hour,
but you can.
But I have to pick things. That's who I am. You said divine inspiration. It really echoes something you said in our interview, which was that kind of the spiritual nature of connecting with, I guess, parts of yourself, but also in a game you're connecting with other people in your own way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was definitely in my mind when I decided to write 2 sets of rules, one for white people and one for mixed in POC people of any form, of like, this is spiritual, this is a connection, but there are rules of engagement to how you connect with me on this.
Yeah.
Because of that level of vulnerability. So yeah, I think you're spot on there, honestly.
Cool. Shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited too.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Let me pull my PDF.
I have no problem saying this on the stream. There has been no playtesting for this game.
Oh, wow. So this is it, live.
This is it. Like this,
I'm here for
like
it.
I said, it was just a fit of inspiration, and I was like, I don't want to playtest it. I don't. Yeah. I just want to write it and get it out there and let it live and be its own creature. So I didn't test it. I just trusted that the SRD would work, and here we are.
I'm ready to rock. I know whatever happens here, we're just gonna kick its ass. So
yeah,
that's what I believe.
Amen. Okay. Would you like me to read the rules?
Please.
All right. So, also this was supposed to be a 1-page solo TTRPG, and then I decided to fuck that rule completely. I decided that this deserved to take up more space than that. So it is no longer, even though it says a 1-page solo TTRPG, it's not. But this is Caged. This is my very first tabletop RPG. It's called Caged, a TTRPG about being a first-generation immigrant with a foot in 2 worlds and being torn apart. This game is for Identity Jam 2023. Be warned, I'm presenting you with my pain and expecting you to feel it. I'm not holding back. It is inspired by a poem I wrote in high school called Caged. In truth, the poem was referring to a balancing act of being the first generation of my family born in Canada. Nowhere truly felt like home, and I felt trapped as a result. This game is an amalgamation of my life experiences as a child and teenager, with just a pinch of early adulthood thrown in, because I never really felt like I had much of a childhood anyways. If you identify as white, I hope this game allows you to experience my pain growing up in North America. You are not allowed to look away from this discomfort. And you should thank your lucky stars that this is a game and that you can walk away. Feel the weight of that privilege like an albatross. You are, furthermore, not allowed to hack my game in any way. You may not modify the rules. You may not make your own version inspired by mine. Though what you do with the SRD is not my jurisdiction, of course. Instead, I ask that if this game impacts you, that you don't make your own version, but point to this one. Share it, recommend it, stream it. You get the point. There are no exceptions to these rules. You are not exempt. If you identify as mixed or as a person of color in any form, you do not need to feel my pain because you felt enough already. Modify the rules. Give yourself a happy ending. Make it so that there's a perfect world in which my caged childhood self is fully free and at peace. You also have my permission to make your own versions of this game and use mine as inspiration. Tell your stories. All right, things you will need. A paper and pen or some other way to record things, a D20 and a D6.
Got it.
Got it. All right, cool. Perfect. We're all set. We're ready to rock. If you write really slow, you start my class. Yeah, but I was like, Vancouver by Night, I really did. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I really was just like, nope, I just want this to take up space. I want it to be black text on white paper, and I wanted to take out space. So that's what I did. All right. The game and the rules. It is 2010. You are a teenager. You are a girl. You are Indo-Canadian. You were born and raised here in Canada. You live with your parents and your grandparents. They're all immigrants. Your parents go to work. Your grandparents stay at home to take care of you. It is up to you how many siblings you have. You are welcome to choose if you have siblings or not. Give yourself a Gujarati name. And that's because I am Gujarati. My name is Neelam. I'm going to stick with my name for this game.
Okay. Help me out then, if you'd be so
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
Can you give one, or I'll just look it up?
Yeah, let's pull up like a Gujarati name generator. Gujarati name generator. I think fantasynamegenerator.com does actually have one. Yep, sure does. And there's tons of them. So
There
anything that kind of stands out to you, you don't have to have a last name. You can just go with the first name, but just something, right?
Ooh, beautiful names. I'm gonna go, if I may, with Kalindi.
Kalindi, okay.
Kalindi.
Kalindi is a beautiful name. I like that. All right, perfect. That is your name.
Cool.
All right, your name is Kalindi. What do you look like? What are your hobbies and interests? Know that if they're Western, your family will care less, but your schoolmates will probably like it. Or you'll find someone at school who does. Know that if it's Indian, that your family and community will like it, but your schoolmates might not.
Okay.
And for the record, like I went to school in a place that was like predominantly white and like Asian, as in like not South Asian, but like Eastern Asian. So I didn't really see many people like me. So for me, it was always just like, well, if I'm too brown, I'm not gonna fit in, you know. But if I'm too white, my family isn't gonna really care because they don't get it, you know.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But tell me, what are your hobbies and interests?
Okay, so I did a little research, and 2010 was the year of Drake's first album.
Oh,
and I feel like as a Canadian teenager, almost regardless of race, like that would have just been my whole lifestyle. The posters, the CDs.
I agree.
Sorry, that's just my background for this character. So
no, you just right.
I'm doing, as a teenager, like I'm big into music. I love hip hop. I probably love like just a lot of like hip hop and popular music that everyone else like. All the other, it's the Western choice. It's all the music. It's most of the music that kids at school listen to.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be my hobby. Big hip hop head for
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, and I love that you mentioned Drake, because Drake is actually like a huge part of like South Asian culture too. Like I think Canadian South Asian kids really love Drake. So I think you're spot on. I think you're 100% spot on.
Is there any reason in particular? I'm so curious.
I love it so much. I don't know. I think we just kind of resonate with him, and I'm not sure why. But I just know Drake is a big deal. Like if you go to a South Asian event and Drake comes on, yeah. Like if you go to a South Asian event and Drake comes on, like every youngster's on the dance floor. Like it's just how it is. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
He was just the dude that we all love. So yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. So you eat Indian food at home, but you take sandwiches to school. Your knowledge of pop culture isn't the strongest, but you know a ton of Bollywood movies and TV serials. But you also know about Drake, which is great. At school, you learn French and speak English. At home, you learn Hindi from TV serials and speak in Gujarati. And to explain that a little further, growing up, even though I like Gujarati is my native tongue, and that's a regional language from India, from the state of Gujarat. It wasn't until very recently that we could get actual like media in Gujarati. Yeah. So Metro Vancouver in particular has a large South Asian population, but they were all immigrants from Punjab. So there was a lot of Punjabi being spoken, and Hindi is kind of like a lingua franca, where it's like everyone, you can kind of get away with speaking Hindi and everyone kind of understands.
Sure.
And Bollywood being the main kind of pop culture export of India is like, you're gonna know Hindi at least a little bit, because of it. So growing up, I watched, just because of the fact that I was living with my grandparents and they watched South Asian TV and all that kind of stuff. I watched a lot of like Bollywood movies and listened to a lot of Bollywood music. And yeah, it's only in recent years that I've really like started to get more exposure to like Gujarati music and arts and culture. Like it's still very hard to kind of access because it's not often provided. But also there's been a recent like influx of Gujarati folks to the Metro Vancouver region, so it's just been like so much more prevalent. But yeah, so my father made a rule where it was like you must speak Gujarati in the house, and then just by the nature of how similar all of these South Asian languages are, I could hear Hindi on the TV, and I like picked it up that way. And that was how I learned 2 of my languages of the 4 that I speak. So that's why I say like at school, you learn French and speak English. At home, you learn Hindi from the TV series and speaking Gujarati. Sometimes your tongue gets confused in conversations and forgets which language to speak. Because I'd be in French class and suddenly the Hindi would try to slip out. Or I'd be at home talking in Gujarati and the French would try to slip in there. Like when your brain knows 4 languages and you are interacting with all 4 of them in the same day, like your brain doesn't know what one to pick sometimes. It just gets lost. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very fun. I enjoy being a bit of a polyglot, but yeah, that's why like I remember as a child like just like not knowing how to like communicate sometimes, or it's like somebody would address me in Punjabi and I would have to pause and figure out how to say the thing in Hindi because I just look brown, and there were very few Gujaratis around me, so everyone just assumed that I was Punjabi because you're South Asian. Why aren't you Punjabi? You're like you know, and the realization that there were other Indians from other parts of India. Not so much. Like the Punjabi community has been here for over 100 years. They're very well established. They've, so their assumption I understand, even though it was isolating. But yeah, and so I'd have to pause and I'd have to think, and I'd be like pause to understand what they had said to me, and then figure out how to answer them and tell them that the bus had already left in Hindi, and hope that they understood me. Like shit like that. Yeah. So that was. Yeah, language overload. So that was why I put those mentions in, because it was such a key part of my life. And like despite this, you could switch comfortably for the most part without a second thought. At home or whenever I'm on the phone with my family, I'm speaking Gujarati. I'm swapping we're doing the bilingual thing of like English and Gujarati mixing together to make our own like language jokes. And like the moment I'm on the phone, like if I have to pick up the phone when I'm at home with my family, I go from speaking Gujarati to sounding very North American. The moment I pick up the phone, like, hello, how are you? When I've just been like talking in Gujarati to my grandmother, like, and that's just such a like core part of my like growing up language experience, and I wanted to kind of mention that. All right, enough about that. Thank you. So how to start a gameplay. Each game is divided into a series of turns known as moments. First, select one stat, Western or Indian, to measure your D6 rolls against. You are stuck with this choice for better or for worse and cannot change it. And you just got to pick one.
I am going to go with Western because I'm already here for Drake. Drake is pulling. I'm going to blame Drake for pulling me from everything, my culture, my history.
All right. I'm going to go with Indian.
All right.
That way we have both. Cool. And so the reason why you pick this stat is it gives you something to kind of like measure your D6 rolls against.
Yeah.
And then at the start of each turn, roll the D20 and consult the chart to determine what event or reflection you will experience. Note down any pluses or minuses associated with that number and note down what number you rolled. Reflect on the prompt. The twist is, when you roll a number you have already rolled, you must roll a D6. Before you do, however, take a moment to journal or roleplay out what that moment looks like now that you've landed on it a second time. Consider if the friction of balancing between your Western and Indian self as you move through the world would perhaps traumatize you. Now, roll the D6. If you roll higher than the number of points you have earned in Western or Indian, whichever stat you have chosen, then the game continues. If you roll lower than your chosen stat, the game ends. So eventually you're going to just accumulate enough points that you're doomed to fail, which was exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to be doomed to feel like there's... The sense of impending doom of failure was intentional. The game ends when your D6 rolls lower than your chosen stat. When the game ends, compare your Western score with your Indian score. Read whichever ending you have accumulated more points in, and accept your fate. At this point, you've grown up into a fledgling adult, and this is your fate now. Or keep playing the balancing game right into perpetuity. Are you satisfied with this as your life? The idea of like, it's a question that I continue to ask myself. Is, do I really want to play the balancing game into perpetuity? Do I consistently want to have to like please both parts of me consistently?
Yeah.
Or do I just want to go whole hog into one or the other? Like, do I just want to please my family and like stop having to fight them for my beliefs? Like, do I just want to give up and do that? Or do I want to live the life that I want because I was born into this world, even if it displeases my family? Right? Like there's a lot of that I deal with as an adult. And so this was kind of my touching on that, is like, this is your fate now. Or like, you can either accept your fate as this is what you are going to be now, or you can keep playing that balancing game for the rest of your life and determine if you're okay with that. Yeah.
Damn, Leona. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. But for POC, there is an alternate ending. You find the solace among other first-generation immigrant kids, the ones who get it and want to embrace the best of both worlds. Here you find fusion that brings joy. Fashion, music, arts, and culture, like a third blended culture. You are understood and supported. You are safe and you are free. I felt this the most when I interact with musical artists like Delhi to Dublin, or I heard like a dubstep piece that was set like done by a South Asian person that had like very South Asian elements to it, and I was like, it me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, like that you get the best of both worlds. I own a bomber jacket made by a local South Asian fashion designer. And a bomber jacket's a very Western piece of clothing,
Sure.
but she makes it with Indian fabrics.
Oh, nice.
She makes blazers and suits out of Indian fabrics, like these very Western items, like a bikini with Indian fabrics. And she takes these two worlds and blends them together.
Incredible.
And like artists and creators, and like when I find those people, I latch onto them so deeply because I feel so seen and understood there, of like this third blended culture where I get to have the best of both worlds. I get to wear a Western bomber jacket, but still represent my Indian culture and heritage with pride. You know, when I listen to Delhi to Dublin, I get to hear this fusion music that blends dhol and bhangra with Western vibes and beats and sounds, and those are these rare few blissful moments where I feel at peace. And that's the happy ending. And so for POC, I wanted to encourage them to just imagine that third culture, that world where we can have the best of both worlds and just be at peace. You know, like you don't have to have your foot in two different places all the time and feel like you're constantly juggling. So that's the happy ending, which doesn't exist for anyone else, but for POC it does. If you're not POC, don't go away. This is such a chill game, Neelam. No, I know.
I think it's an interesting concept because as POC, when we find that balance, we know it and we try to hold on to it for our dear lives.
Oh my god, yeah.
So to have that in the game, it's like, ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah, it really is a feeling of like at peace. Like I put that jacket on and I feel at peace. Which is the strangest feeling, but it really, like, it makes me feel whole. I bought her scrunchies, I bought her tote bag. Like I just I give her all of my money because I'm just like, I love everything that you sell. It's gorgeous and it makes me feel whole. It makes me feel like all sides of myself are being represented authentically, you know? Like I call myself Leona, but then I had to be like Leona Neelam Maple because I'm Leona and Neelam. Like there are two halves and they make a whole. They are a whole person and they're all me. And it's, you know, like it's such like I keep doing this thing throughout my life where I put a foot in each world, whether I like it or not. And it's just like let's have an ending where it's all together and we don't have to fight. Or where I don't have to fight myself, you know? So that's it. Yeah. Do you want me to read out the two endings now, or do we want to get into the game and then read the endings after?
Let's wait to the endings after.
Cool.
I think it'll be a surprise for anyone, for our audience.
Yeah. I did also note, unless other specifies, because some of these things are a little bit adult, but most of these things happened to me as a child and or teenager. So most of these experiences are being represented as like a child or a teenager. Just as a that's the note under the chart. Just in case people were curious.
Okay.
All right. So all we gotta do is start rolling a d20 and then reading what number we land on. Would you like to go first?
I will go first.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 10.
You got a 10. Okay. 10 is you are encouraged to study and pursue a degree of your choice. And you enjoy theater performances in high school and as many extracurriculars as you like. +1 to Western.
Okay.
So please note down +1 to Western. So like you could just tally them on your piece of paper. And yeah, you're encouraged to study and pursue a degree. You enjoy performing theater in high school and whatever extracurriculars you like, you get to have all of the things. You get to have the nice parts of Western education.
I am feeling so ecstatic.
Yeah.
Because I can make choices for myself. I can find my own way. Theater is like it's like shooting a 3-pointer from like the other side of the court. Like it's just a low percentage success rate, unless you're exceptional. So to have my parents be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, study theater, like be a part of this culture of bisexual people who have weird haircuts." And none of them are out yet.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And they recognize and validate. Well, do they validate my choice? I'm encouraged. Yeah, so I'm encouraged to do these things.
You're encouraged. You're encouraged to get a degree.
Wow.
It is very important to your family that you get a degree.
Okay, so it's like, what would you do? Get a degree at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. Enjoy your life.
Oh, okay. Child. So I misread it. You enjoyed theater performances in high school, but I'm gonna say that I chose theater as like my artistic, my
absolutely
educational aspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to do as many extracurriculars. You get to study. Their most important thing is they want you to get a degree. They don't care what you do. They want you to embrace education in all of its ways and shapes and forms. Your family heartily encourages you, as long as you get a degree.
Okay.
The degree is the important part for them.
Going to college. Yeah, finishing college.
But it's nice. It is a perk of Western society, education.
That's an interesting one because the idea of getting a degree is important in Western society, and I feel like it's also very important in Eastern society, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. I am. My grandfather does not have a degree. He stopped school around 17 so that he could care for his family and his siblings because he's the eldest of 7 siblings. I do not believe that. I don't actually know what my mother's educational history is. And I don't think my father completed university. So for my grandfather, it was incredibly important that I complete my degree. And he strongly encourages his grandchildren to get a degree. Yeah. It was very important for him as well as for me. So it's like when all of his grandkids went into university, he bought us a laptop, he really like invested in it. Yeah. So that was kind of what that was based off of, was like the fact that I got to grow up in this Western society. And the nice part about that was that I could do theater as an extracurricular, and I got to do all these things that allowed me to express freely. And like, did I want to play soccer? Great. Go play soccer, kid. You want to go play volleyball? Okay, go play volleyball. Like, was I any good? Was I good at any of it? No, but like, go do whatever. I was not stopped because it was all part of that education, and it was encouraged. And it was like, so long as you come out with a degree, the end of the day, go for it.
Gotcha. Wow.
You want a linguistics degree? Go for it. You want a arts degree? Go for it. You want a business degree? Go for it. Doesn't matter. Go. You have a Western education in front of you. Take it. Is kind of the core thing there. So yeah. All right. I think it's my turn to roll.
Yeah.
Let's see what I get. And make sure you note down that you got number 10 so that if it comes up again, you'll know.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you. I should have said that sooner. Oh shit. I got 9. Number 9.
Ooh,
You're an
okay.
adult.
Juicy.
You are an adult. You date someone. They bring you joy. Your family wouldn't approve, so you hide it from them. It's very universal. God, I read this thing. I don't know if I read it on Twitter or Instagram or what, but I remember reading this thing. I think it was meant to be a meme, but it was very profound at the same time of like the bed, like the pillow that we sleep on, like South Asian girls' pillows hold the chapters of their love life.
Whoa.
Because we just don't, like, in South Asian culture, you just don't share that stuff, right? Like, unless you're serious about the guy, you don't share that stuff. And if it's not someone that you think your family's going to approve of, you're definitely not sharing that. You know, you are sneaking out, you are keeping that to yourself. Like, you're not telling your family, because most families would not approve. And that would cause problems for you to be able to date the person that you're dating. So you don't. And so instead, when your heart is broken, you cry into your pillow. When you're ecstatic, you hide your face in your pillow so that no one hears you screaming with joy. Like, it was just like so reading that was very profound, and that was kind of what that was based on, was like, and it is based on my own life and my own dating life. Like, my family has no idea the people who I've dated and that I've loved, who have been incredible and who have influenced my life. The only person who does know is my mother, who has known about my last couple of relationships, because I've just been like, I've come out to her point blank at this point. So she's just like, she has at the point of like, I realize that if I don't be okay with this, you're just going to do it anyways and leave me in the dust. So she's like, I might as well get with it. And so because of that, she now knows. But yeah, those South Asian girls, and especially as teenagers, like, we don't talk about our dating lives, you know? We keep those things a secret. Wow. Yeah. All right. I've written down number 9 as my first dice roll. It is your turn.
Oh, I'm up again.
You're up again.
Oh, of course I dropped it.
Oh no!
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
That's a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
All right. Call your grandparents in front of your white school friends. Code switch into Gujarati. See their reactions. Which is a little bit hard, I think, if you don't know Gujarati. But I remember calling home once in front of my friends. Like, in high school, I had a cell phone. We had cell phones at that point in time. So I'm with my friends, and I need to call home for some reason. I don't remember why. And so, I call the phone. My grandfather picks up, and I said, "Hello, Dada." And because my entire vocal tone and everything changed, like, everyone just like turned and looked at me. I was like, "What just happened there?" Like, someone like burst into laughter. I remember, because they were just like so surprised by it.
Yeah.
So that was what I was kind of inspired by. And I guess you can kind of like consider like what the range of reactions is when you switch into this other personality that people haven't seen you, and it's very unexpected, and like kind of how that makes you feel. That is kind of that Western and Indian tension of like, well, I am both of these things, and they are coming into conflict right now.
Yeah. I'm imagining that it really speaks to a level of vulnerability as well, and it's some kind of vulnerability, but you are just exposing yourself.
Yeah.
Because in school you want to fit in. You're a teenager. You want to fit in. You want to get along with everybody. You want to speak the same language everyone else speaks. Excuse me. And yeah, to show them the other side of you. Show them that you have two sides of you. Actually, it's a challenge. Now, there's no cultural modifier or whatever you want to call it for this one.
No, this was just one that you get to experience and kind of think about the. You just gotta reflect on them. Some of them are freebies.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that means that you get to write down number 3 so that you can keep track of it, and I get to roll. Number 8. All right. You are proud of your heritage and wear Indian clothes to your grade 7 graduation in an act of defiance against everything that exhausts you. I did do this. I went to Catholic school. Uh,
Wow. Ooh.
in grades 5 through 7 because their curriculum was really good and my parents wanted me to have that very strong curriculum. So I went to a Catholic school. And it was very white. It was very white. And I did my best to fit in, but I never truly fit in for so many reasons. Um, and I was just not having it. I was like, why should I go buy a graduation dress? I'm not going to ever wear it again. I do not have enough occasions to
Yeah.
wear a dress. Like I literally, like all my events were South Asian. I had no events to wear a graduation dress to again. Like it felt pointless to me. So I actively chose to wear an Indian outfit to my grade 7 graduation. Defiantly, I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna get ogled. People are gonna stare at me. They're going to be like, oh wow, that's so beautiful. Like that, like I'm gonna get that white
Yeah.
everything, and I don't care. Um, and I didn't. I wore it. It made me happy, and I get +1 Indian for that.
I love it. Staying true to yourself and your culture.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, fuck it. I'm graduating. I'm gonna be brown. I don't care about all this white. It's fine. It is what it is. All right. Oh, what number was that? I gotta write that down.
I think that was
number 8.
8.
Number
Yeah.
8. All right. Number 8.
The powerful thing is that you're graduating and you can just kind of, middle finger to everyone there if you're
Yeah,
not
right?
in, so it's like,
Yeah, literally. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I kept it unharassed for 3 freaking years. I went to religion class, learning the Bible for 3 freaking years. I can wear an Indian outfit for one day. I did. All right. Roll a d20, Mark.
I got an 11.
11. You get dressed in Indian clothes and you're heavily praised by your family for your appearance, even if they did complain about having to alter the clothes for your weight gain.
Ooh.
But you look so beautiful.
And I've gained weight.
Yeah.
I look so beautiful and I've gained weight. Yeah.
And you gained weight.
That last part hurts. It's good to be accepted. It's good to be loved. But then there's that little bit of like, but we don't accept that. You're good.
There was all this fuss about making sure that the clothes fit and having to alter them, and they got them all fixed up for you. And now that you've been through all of that bitching, now they're like, oh, you look so beautiful.
Oh, wow. So like one of the Western kind of ideals, I don't know if parents actually do this shit, but it's like, yeah, accept your kids for how they are, no matter what they look like and who they are and gender, sexuality, love your kids. This is like, now that we've made you present in a way that's acceptable to us, and this is my interpretation. It's like now we can show you our love, if I'm
that's a really
misreading
good
that, then let me know.
No, that's a really good interpretation. I really like that interpretation. For me, it was always like, as someone who did like gain weight in my teenage years, it was always like the praise always felt hollow because it was like, you just spend so long complaining about how you had to like, oh, this doesn't fit. Oh, we need to add 2 inches here. But like, you just spent so long doing all that shit, and now you're like, oh, it looks so nice. Really? You sure? You mean that?
Jeez.
Can I trust that?
That hurts.
But you're right at the same time, because it is conditional, right? But it's also like, oh, now you look beautiful because you're fully dressed in your Indian outfit and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, there is kind of that praise, but there's also like a lot of body shaming in South Asian culture. And this one I just wanted to take all of that and just be like, because my family, they're Jews by caste or tailors, so like that's our cultural heritage. We don't necessarily conform to that God. I can't even. So, but like my grandmother would like alter my clothes, right? Or like we would ask, and we would like, she would like have to like, she would make me an outfit, and she would like leave like, this much room on the inside so that as my weight expanded or shrank, she could like take it out or put it back in, and like, And it's funny because my mother is plus size, so it's kind of inevitable. Like I am the exact same physical shape as my mother. We look like twins, you know? So it was just and the people tell us that we look like twins all the time. So it's just like this was kind of inevitable.
Yeah,
Like this was
yeah.
genetic. I don't know what y'all want from me. I don't know how, how do I squish the boobs and get them to stop growing? Like I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Like there is no act that stops the body from taking the shape that it wants to take.
Mm.
You know, and I did not realize that until my late 20s. Um but
Oh
like
wow, yeah, wow.
yeah,
That's ooh,
yeah.
you're adult
Late
at
high
that point.
school, mid to late 20s, and I was just like, nope, the body just does what it wants,
Yeah.
you know? Like there is no juice cleanse or diet or anything
Mm.
is going to save you. And let me tell you, I did those in high school. So
Mm.
I was just like, yeah. So that all of that kind of amalgamation of experience is what I wanted to put into
Oh,
that one.
I felt it. I felt it.
Ooh.
So that was 11, and I'm gonna mark +1 Indian.
Yes. All right, my turn. Ooh, I've got an 8 again. Okay, so technically at this point, I roll a d6 because I have gotten the prompt a second time.
Okay.
And we're going to see if I roll higher than the number of points that I have earned in Indian, because that was the stat I'm choosing to roll against. I rolled a 5. I only have 1 point in Indian. So that means that the game
One second. My internet decided to fart. Yeah, it was such a powerful roll that we got knocked off the World Wide Web, which is a new thing I just invented. So give us a second. I'm gonna kick it to the be right back screen. Do they still have that dog? That little dog that was like technical difficulties dog? Anyway.
uno momento. Where did y'all
Oh, still hicking up a little bit.
do? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Ah, okay. My apologies. Where did you lose me?
I apologize. It left my
That's
head
okay.
so quickly.
It is all good. The TLDR is
You know who
that
would know is Retsev. Retsev be like, yeah, I took notes. Sorry. and he did.
oh my goodness. Right after your 5 roll and you said the game continues. Yes. The game continues because I did not roll higher and because what's the word I'm looking for? Um yeah, I feel like I've already reflected enough on this prompt, so I'm not gonna reflect on it too much more.
Mm-hmm. So it's back to me.
It is back to you.
That is a 4. Oh,
All right,
I'll read this one. Okay,
go
so
for it.
you are an adult. One of your first hookups calls you a racist slur when you reject him after sex because you don't want to see them again. God damn. My heart is a little bit broken.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the nature of the hookup. Like if you're just having a good time, or if you're trying to develop a relationship. Uh, Regardless,
Mm-hmm.
that once you had that level of intimacy, um, and for someone to like call you something racist like that after sex. After sex. After
After
sex.
sex.
God
After sex.
damn. That
Yeah.
means that son of a gun was waiting for it. He was like, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna drop this bomb on everybody. No, probably. At least that's the story that my character is telling.
Hmm.
But I told them I don't want to see them again. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they really held on to that.
You had a
Ooh,
hookup. You told them, "Hey, I'm good. I don't want to see you again." And
mm,
yeah, yeah,
wow.
that's how that cookie crumbled.
And that's such a sad story for everyone because it's like you hold that kind of hatred in your heart
Hmm.
and you weren't even honest with yourself. Like you're you yourself are that dishonest and that
Yeah,
shitty of a human being.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It basically it happened to me. Early 20s. I had a hookup. Decided afterwards that they were like, "Oh, thanks so much. That was great. Should we do it again?" And I sat on the train thinking about it, and I was like, "No, I don't. I didn't feel good about it. I still
mm,
hadn't quite come to terms with the fact that I was demisexual, and I didn't quite know how to explain any of that.
yeah.
And there was also something about this guy that was off, and that did make me feel like when I reflected on it, I was like, that was not the safest choice, Neelam. Like that was
Mm,
not you didn't that was maybe not a good one.
yeah.
Um and so I texted them back and I was very nice about it. I was very kind. I was like, hey, you know what? Like, thank you so much. Like I had such a nice time. Like that was so cool. It was so great. But I really don't think I want to see you again. Like I just don't think it's a good idea for me. Like I don't think I'm actually ready to do that. But thank you again.
Mm.
And everyone cover your ears if you don't want to hear what he said to me. Everybody cover your
If
ears.
you're a person of color. Also, Leona, I want to let you know before you drop this bomb. Maybe I shouldn't tell you until after you do the bomb. But your captions aren't picking up.
Oh, wait, I can
But
fix that.
the captions are gonna bleep it out anyway. Probably if they're any good.
Well, he he essentially said that my vagina stinks of curry,
Ooh,
which is not
see,
true.
there's no gun laws in Canada, but if there were, if you could carry, sorry, violence isn't like a good reaction to an
I mean, it's
insult.
not, but
Yeah.
it just that was his response over text
What
was to
a
just
yeah.
go for my body and to
Mm,
talk about me. And it's a common racism that happens to South Asian people of like, oh, you curry scented bitches. Like that's something that
mm,
I forget what celebrity said it to Zayn Malik. Uh
mm.
who said it? Hold on, I want to Google this because it is a pop culture reference. There was a point in time on Twitter, I don't know which Twitter account of mine it was, but in ye olden days, I definitely did post like proudly a curry scented bitch. Curry scented bitch Zayn. Who said it? Azalea Banks.
I have to look up who that is.
Azalea
They,
Azalea Banks is a Azalea Banks calls Zayn a curry
oh,
scented bitch.
Azalea, girl, stop it.
Yeah, the rapper.
Mm,
Girl, what happened as a response to that was a lot of people, a lot of South Asian people going on Twitter and being like, "Hi, curry sent a bitch and proud. Like,
yeah.
what you gonna do? Our food's delicious." I remember 10 years later, I saw this TikTok of this girl who is like, "You're gonna eat my vagina like it's a fine meal, slurp it like it's sambar, bitch." And I was just on the floor wheezing because it was so good.
Let's
Because
go.
it was so good. And
Mm,
let's go. And that solidarity was so beautiful to accept this thing about you. I'm still not okay with talking about my own body that way, but
mm,
when other South Asians do that thing,
yeah.
it is
Ooh,
very healing. So yeah, this was a thing that happened to me. After a hookup, I turned them down and they decided to become racist. And that's why I
mm,
put it in here.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a rough one. All
I've
right,
been
that
through a
was number
lot.
4
Oh my
for you.
gosh. I don't know about my character.
this,
I don't know how to make it.
is what I'm saying. Like I wrote this chart and I went, "Girl, are you okay?"
Kalindi
Like,
is kind of hurting right now a little bit. Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's
Let's.
no, you're good. You're good. Like I just listen, I had to kind of trick myself too. And that's why,
Mm.
do you see why I sent this to my friend and was like, is this too harsh?
Yeah. Oh.
These are 20 things that are really not easy. Like, none of this is comfortable.
Mm.
So yeah. Number 3. You had this one.
Yeah.
You had this one. Call your grandparents in front of your white school friends, code switch, and if you do at the end, see their reactions. Yeah. Did it. I'm not going to elaborate on it. We've already been there.
Okay, I'm up there.
Go off.
That is okay. I think I did this one. No, you did this one. It's an 8.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Indian clothes to 7th grade graduation. Screw the Catholic school, which probably had some other shady business dealings going.
Yeah, probably.
But that's one. That's a +1 to my Indian culture.
That is +1 to your Indian. You keep getting all the point ones. I've gotten like one thing that's given me points. It's kind of ridiculous. That is 10. 10, 10, 10.
I did it 10. Yeah. That was my first one.
You did 10. All right, it's my turn to do number 10. Let's see. That gives me +1 to Western. I am encouraged to study and pursue a degree of my choice, and I enjoy theater performances in high school and as many extracurriculars as I like. Yeah. I love my education. It's also very weird having a Western education when you've grown up with a very Eastern political mentality. Because, I mean, Western beliefs are very different from Eastern beliefs sometimes, and like, I'm feminist because y'all brought me to this country and decided to have a baby here. Like I'm a feminist because of the choices that my parents made.
Yeah,
let's be very clear. Like, if you are mad about how I turned out, shouldn't have decided to move to Canada.
Bad.
Like, that's at the core of it. Like, it really is. Like, I learned about feminism through university. I learned about all of these beliefs that I have through school. Where else would I have been exposed to them? It was through school. And that's why I've turned out the way I am. And it's like, sometimes I'm just like, if y'all didn't want this.
Yeah. These are the consequences of this.
These are the consequences of your actions. Why, you cannot hold this against me for turning out this way. Y'all moved here. It wasn't even me. I didn't do it. I didn't do a damn thing. I just existed. Anyways, go ahead.
I love it. Oh, that's a 2.
That is a 2. Okay.
What do we got? Oh, I'm cooking Indian food. I love this for me. Yeah. Right now, I'm balanced. I'm 3 Indian, 3 Western.
Ooh, I am 1 Western and Indian. Yeah. Enjoy that.
I am. Yeah, I am. I feel like first couple of dishes weren't so hot, but getting the swing of things, probably with my parents' help or aunties. Everyone's got to get auntie. Why everybody got auntie that can cook? Anyway. That's just the POC thing. You got an auntie that can cook.
It so is. There's the auntie that cooks, and then cooking is a huge part of South Asian culture, and I think especially for girls. And it should be more so for boys too, but like, girls are inherently given that narrative of like, oh, you're gonna need to cook and clean and like care for your husband. So we get indoctrinated into it a lot sooner, and that was why it was one of the early ones that came to me, and I was just like, yep, Indian food, because there is so, like, I've just kept that problem simple, but there's so much to it, and about making the perfect round roti, as if that matters. But then hearing about like your grandmother talking about how like back in her day, like if you didn't make perfect round rotis, then your mother-in-law would drag you onto the street and abuse you in front of like yell at you in front of other people. And I was just like, okay, I'm a child, grandma, but all right, thanks. But I mean, it like, I understand that my roti looks like the shape of Africa, but it fluffed up. It's not a dud.
And the taste?
That's good, right? It tastes good, right? Mom made the dough. It's like, it's not like it tastes bad. Are we good? Cool. Indian food is full of joy because it is the stuff that I love. And it's also just funny how many experiences I would have in the kitchen flipping rotis, you're supposed to flip them with your bare hands, and I refused to do it. I still flip them with a spatula.
Yeah.
Because it was hot. I didn't want to burn my fingers. I hated it. They puff up and fill with steam. And like if you pick it up with your nails and it like the steam like pops under your nail, you're gonna get a blister under there from the heat. And I was like, this is nuts. Why are we so committed? Like the number of things in the kitchen that I have questioned. God almighty. Why are we picking up roti with bare hands? Why? And my mom's like, your hands will get used to it. I was like, I don't want them to get used to it. You know?
Do I feel like that might be a plus in the Western a little bit because you over here trying to.
But that's just it, right? Like it's the duality of growing up in a Western world as a South Asian kid, and like, yes, at home I'm cooking Indian food with my family and I'm enjoying it, but I'm also having to question all these things at the same time. Like there's so much in there, you know, and it becomes this kind of funny, never-ending cycle. Yeah, so you cook Indian food and you enjoy it.
I love it.
So I want you to warn your family: immigrating to Canada may cause strong feelings of feminism. God, I wish someone had. I don't think they were prepared for me. I think I scare the daylights out of them. All right, I should roll.
What you got?
What do I got? I got a 10. That is my second 10. I'm going to roll my d6. That is a 4. Still over. Still good to go.
Right. That is a 4, which I did already. So I need to roll a d6.
Roll a d6.
Did I do a 4 already? Yeah, I did a 4. I didn't mark it though. Sorry. So
that's okay. We got up in them fields. I think you noted the +1 Western. I think though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 4, and I have 3 points.
So you rolled higher. You're good.
Yes. Okay. So I'm still in the game.
Still good. You're still in the game.
It's not over yet.
All right. Ooh, 17. All right. What did I write for 17? Oh, shit.
Okay.
Don't question your traditions, even if you want to.
I mean, you better pick that damn roti up like you've been told. Shit. Get your hands, goddamn.
Don't question your traditions, even if you want to. It's hard, you know? And it's like, why are we doing this thing? Why do we do this tradition? Like, it's this genuine, sincere sense of inquisitiveness, but also, like, this is dumb. Like, please make sense of this. And it's hard because not all of the elders have those answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if I ask why, they don't know. And so it's don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. This is just how it is. And as I got older, I started to do my own research and be like, oh, this is why we do this. This is what this means. Like there's a meaning behind all of this. But for most of my childhood and teenage years, it was don't ask questions. +1 Indian. Don't question it. Don't question it. No questioning.
It really makes me think of the designer that you were talking about earlier, who combines Eastern and Western cultures and make fashion. Yeah. And at some point, I don't know, that feels like the best answer given the circumstances. Like, I'm gonna question it and I'm gonna add my own spin to it because, like, otherwise I'm just questioning forever. With I don't want to lose touch with I don't want to lose touch with where I came from, but I still want to embrace where I am right now.
Exactly. All right.
That is an 8, which I don't think.
8. I think I got it.
Yeah, you did do the one. Okay.
No, you did. You got this too. You got this one once. Yeah. So you are D6 time.
That is a 3.
That's a 3. How many points do you have in your chosen stat? You picked Western, right?
Yep, and I have 3.
Okay. I did not account for this.
Right.
I don't think meets it beats it. Okay. I think you have to. Yeah. I think you have to exceed. So you're still in the game.
We're play testing. We're learning.
We're play testing. I never thought about this.
You're up then, right? Or
yes.
You're still in. Yes. Yeah, you're still in the game.
Yeah, I'm still in the game. 11. Ah, you got this one. I didn't. You get dressed in Indian clothes. Are heavily praised by your family for your appearance. Even if they did complain about having to alter the clothes for your weight gain. Yep. We talked about that one. That is +1 Indian for me. Oh shit, I've got 3 in Indian and 1 in Western. We're gonna see. All right.
I have 13. It is 3 weeks after your 13th birthday. You've hit puberty by now. Your elders explain their expectations for marriage to you. You are upset. Ooh, now that's a +1 Western.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll let you interpret this, and then I can explain my logic.
Okay. Um, well, we're in Canada and not Arkansas, so where being married at 13 would probably be on the table for a lot of people, but that's not what we're talking about.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, just that you're being hit with this. Here's how I relate to it as a
Mm-hmm.
black masked person. It's that thing where
Mm-hmm.
people say like, "Oh, you're a man now," but you're 13 or you're 14. It's like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta grow up and be a man." And now it's like, "You're a woman now. You've hit puberty. Now I'm childbearing age." Whew. I'm 13, and people are expecting me to have these everything marriage entails, which is they always lie to you. They don't tell you about the bills and
Mm.
the arguments. But anyway,
No,
but they want
true
you to
that.
have this ideal relationship and marriage to this one person who I've never met. And
Mhm.
I just want to listen to Drake. The new
Yeah.
Drake just dropped, and like y'all talking to me about like who my boo is gonna be, who my life partner is gonna be. My body's changing, and I'm just like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm upset because, like, of course, you're talking about questioning traditions. Like, where does it connect? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. I'm as confused as you might have been at the time. So that's where
Preach.
I'm at, and that
Yes.
confusion is making me upset.
Yes. You're doing great. That's yep, absolutely. This happened to me 3 weeks after my 13th birthday. My grandfather sat me down. He gave me a handout. I still have it somewhere. He wrote it all out for me. He gave it to me on a piece of paper. Um, and it explained expectations for marriage because I was now a teenager, so I might start dating. So I needed to be informed of what the expectations were for me growing up, and it was
Mm,
the list included weird things like do not marry a divorcee because they come with baggage and children. And I was in my head going, I'm 13.
oh my
This is a lot
goodness.
to preempt me with right now. Like you're
Yeah.
really front loading this.
Mm.
Um
As an
it was
adult,
just
13, you're a child. You're
yeah.
still a child. Looking back at it, I was like, you are a baby at 13 years old. You are capable of nothing. Sorry, 13-year-olds in
No.
the chat, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I it made no sense to me. And it was so disorienting and confusing and like upsetting for that reason of like why is this happening to me now?
Yeah.
And okay, first of all, you're sitting me down to give me this document that you've written about your expectations for my marriage at 13. I don't think I'm getting married anytime soon, but you're putting all these expectations on me. You're talking about things that are considered unacceptable and why, and like it's just really weird. And it was just one of those moments where it was like, this feels deeply archaic.
Mm.
And therefore it pushed me to Western.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, you brought me here, hence feminism, and now this is yeah,
Well, it did, right? Because
yeah.
it's just like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you kidding me? Like, is this really happening right now? And I was upset. Like, that's why I wrote, you are upset. Like, this is
Mm,
upsetting for you. Like, this is uncomfortable and confusing and upsetting. This is an unpleasant experience. You don't want to have this talk with your grandfather. Like, you don't talk about the birds and the bees, but you are being talked
yeah.
about marriage, So you are upset. And because of that, you are going to push back on this. You are going to
Mm,
push away from this, and that's going to push you towards Western.
yeah.
And that was why that one became +1 Western.
And on the other side is the idea of yeah, you can. Your body is yours. You can control your body.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything with your body you want to do, including marriage. So, yeah, of course I'm gonna join Team Western. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it's
That
rough
was
over here.
a big one for Team Western there, because it was
Yeah,
just like,
wow,
what? Yeah,
wow.
and like, how do you take that to school and then talk? You don't.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't. How do
no,
you?
not that age.
How
Forget
do you?
about
You
it.
don't. How are you going to
Yeah.
explain that to anyone? So I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've marked 13 and my plus
Awesome.
one for Western. So
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
you're up then.
All right. 19. All right. Celebrate Christmas. +2 Western.
Uh,
It sounds silly.
it,
I
it,
know.
and this is the problem with the lack of anything beyond Western viewpoint, which it just seems like Christmas is so natural, whether you celebrate it or not. It's like you're
Yeah.
always gonna deal with Mariah Carey, every
Yeah.
December.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, but there's so many parts of the world that it's just not a thing.
Yeah. And it's like here in North America, you can't escape Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't escape Christmas. So, you embrace it. Everyone else is having delicious food. Why should you miss out? So, we celebrate Christmas at home. Do we give two shits about baby Jesus? No. No.
Listen, nobody does. Nobody cares.
Nobody does. Nobody cares. We just want to have a Christmas tree because it's pretty. We want to have delicious food. We get a stat holiday. Fucking let us eat. Does the Christmas food also include half Indian, half Western? Yeah, maybe. But still.
Let's go. Yeah,
Does it still, we're still celebrating Christmas? Like, it doesn't matter. So that's why I decided to celebrate Christmas. +2 Western.
I dig it. I'll rock with it.
Mhm. Was that mine or yours?
That was yours.
That was mine. Okay, yes. I put my 2 points into Western. I am 3 and 3, and I have noted down number 19. All right, your turn.
That is a 6.
Oh, I don't think we've had 6 yet.
No, we haven't. But this is the origin story. I feel like.
Yes.
She's so excited.
This is so nuts to me. This is so, like, I don't know how else to react. Like, this is so nuts.
I love it. Write a poem in grade 12 to outlet your frustration at having one foot in 2 different worlds. Oh, P.S. Your short story on depression won an award. You won't be diagnosed till university, though. Gosh, dang. Okay. Wow.
I'm so sorry.
No. So here I am. I'm kind of indie. I've been living in 2 worlds my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The real time of exploration is typically in your 20s, so I'm far away from this time where I can like figure out where these are. So I've just been hanging on to my culture and Drake, and it's like where I picked Drake. No, I'm just kidding. Never picked Drake, y'all. But yeah, just that frustration. What am I supposed to do? I don't have any real. I'm trying to find autonomy, but I don't know how any autonomy to make these choices.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like no wonder I'm depressed. No wonder I just don't understand like where I'm meant to go. And I'm proud that I won an award for my article for my writing on depression, but I really don't even know what that means because I won't be diagnosed until much later. And the teenage version of depression is
a trip.
Yo, yeah, it's so far away from. It's just sadness. It's just
teenage depression is
such
a trip. It is absolute. Do not wish that shit on anyone. Mm-hmm. Not even my worst enemy, because it was a nightmare. Yeah. I did write Caged, the poem / prose piece in grade 12. I wrote a short story on depression using the black dog metaphor, which is commonly associated with depression. I had just learned about depression because I had a friend who was going through it. And so I wrote. Were
they white?
No, they were South Asian. They were an online friend, actually.
Okay.
So I kind of like learned about it through a distance, and because she messaged me one day and she was like, I've been physically ill, and it's that I finally gotten diagnosed. It was because I have depression, and I was like, oh, that's possible to become so
Mm.
depressed that you're physically ill. And so I started researching it. Um, and empathize with it, not enough to the point where like my teenage brain could go, oh, this is me. That would happen later. But enough that I like understood it to the point where I wrote a short story about depression and about the black dog and about how some people have very little black dogs and some people have very big black dogs, and how some people cope with medication, some people cope in other ways, and like kind of like putting all that into like this very symbolism based short story. And I got like, I think I got bronze medal for it or silver medal for it. I don't remember, in the school writing contest. So I got an award for it. And then of course was not diagnosed. Like, oh, you're fine. And then years later, like in university, when my anxiety and depression hits its absolute peak, and I'm a fucking wreck, that's when I get diagnosed. So it's like, oh,
Mm.
and then you look back at your life and you go, oh, huh, I did write that in high school,
So,
didn't I?
yeah, and I've been depressed the whole time.
I've been depressed the whole time.
I asked
Who
if
knew?
your friend who identified with depression was white
Yeah.
because typically, and I'm really overgeneralizing, but generalizing in general, POC parents are like, the fuck is depression?
No, it's true. I had that
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
It's true.
they do
I
not want to
straight up
hear
had that
anything about
experience.
your depression
Yep.
or care or to believe in it or
Yeah.
yeah.
No, absolutely. It was funny actually, because despite both of these experiences, one of my in-person best friends in high school was both trans and depressed, and I couldn't see
Mm,
it. And I could not see it. I
mm,
couldn't see either of those things, even though it was all right in front of me. I never I was a teenager, and I just did not put two and
yeah.
two and four together. And they've since come out as trans, and they're a happy person, and they're and I'm very happy for them. But it was just like, yeah, it's just those weird times in high school where it's just like you're interacting with all of these things for the first time, and you're just like, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how to look for it and what it looks like. And it was just, so yeah, it was kind of, I wanted to put all of those things into this one because it was like these were all these like high school mental health experiences that I had, but also I wrote this prose piece because I'm going through so much shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Now that one also didn't have a plus for
Nope.
Indian or Western. It's a neutral.
You just get to live with it. You get to live with that friction.
Oh no.
I feel so bad.
She's trying her best, really.
She's trying.
She's hanging out with all the theater kids, and they're like mopey as fuck. Sorry, your turn.
No, you're great. You're great. I feel a little bad that I'm putting you through all this suffering. All right, number 2, cook Indian food. All right, I've got an Indian food one too. There we go.
All right, then me.
Your turn.
I got 11 again.
Okay.
So that means I roll.
Roll your d6.
That's a 4, and I have 5 points.
So you rolled under the number of points you have.
Mm-hmm. So is that it?
That is it for you, my dear friend. All right. Which stat do you have more points in?
I have more Western.
You have more Western. All right. You ready?
And Drake was a tiebreaker, pretty much. As he should be.
All right. Are you ready for your Western ending?
Here I am. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We're not like white people. Don't act like a white person. If you gain too many points in Western, you are seen as one of the kids who won't care about community and culture and won't uphold traditions. You feel the weight of judgment and disappointment, and why can't you be like those other Sanskati kids? Sanskati meaning culture. You will lose out on the richness of your culture, the tastes, the colors, the smells, the fun. You may not remember how to practice your religion properly as you get older. You're whitewashed, and you miss the fun parts of being Indian. The price you paid for being born in the modern world. You're a feminist and no one listens to you. You feel isolated.
Sorry. Can I roll another character? Can I do another character sheet?
No, there is no happy ending, and that is this game is such a bitch because there is no happy ending. It's you get your freedom and your independence and the ability to live in Western society, but at what cost, right?
I feel like there's a level to this of being in in that Western world, I'm also the best way I can come up from is I'm also just a token for a lot of people. I'm somebody's Indian friend. I'm somebody's ex
Yep.
friend. I'm somebody's friend. Like, oh, they don't. They're one of the good ones. Kalandi's one of the good ones. She doesn't. She rebels against her oppressive culture. Yada yada yada.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I am. I
Yes.
am. I'm not at the party that somebody is telling my life story. If that makes sense.
Yep.
I wasn't invited to the party, but someone else is gonna, some other in another group. They're like, oh, I have a friend who does, and they got to tell my whole life story.
Yep.
Um, that they're aware of. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's rough. That hurts. That hurts. I don't want to lose out on the culture of my richness and the taste and the colors and smells um
Yeah. Yeah.
for a Calvary Stampede or whatever the fuck is happens. I don't know. For a fucking beaver tail.
You traded your Indian food for McDonald's.
Oh, mm, 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 mm. Wow.
Craft dinner every day.
Mm.
Mm.
Craft dinner every day. Oh damn. Whew. Well, at least I have. I don't know. I don't know what I have.
Your independence, your freedom,
Yeah.
your Westerness. Yep.
I had it all along, but I
Feels
gave it
bitter,
up
eh?
for. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bitter pill, and it's hard to do that balancing act of like, like I know like Indian elders all the times were like, oh, these kids these days with their pizzas and pastas and burgers, and it's like, listen, I like that stuff. I also like my Indian food,
Yeah.
but like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
This is why I gave the POCs an alternate ending because I was like, this sucks.
Well, yeah, but the POC can identify with it.
True.
Most can readily identify with it. Just that idea of like, do I really have to make a choice, or can I just be me? You know.
Yeah. And like that accusation of like whitewashed,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. All
Or
right.
or professional, as they say when
Yeah.
you reach 30. Um,
Oh shit.
mm,
Ooh. Whew.
got him.
Got him. Whew. Um, I will read Indian. I feel like we managed to hit on a bunch of the charts, so I will read Indian, even though I'm 50-50. But I am being your other half basically, and my focus is on letting you experience it. So, Indian curry scented pussy. If you gain too many points in Indian, you are seen as very cultured in your community, but too fresh off the boat and unwilling to assimilate and uncultured elsewhere. You wear your culture with pride and you find yourself exoticized for it, and fighting off microaggressions from well meaning white people.
Mm.
People make comments about how you smell like curry or how your food is smelly or too spicy. Or they ask you about arranged marriages and if that will be your fate. Just exactly how brainwashed are you by Desi culture? Are you also going to become a victim of the patriarchy? Things are nice when you engage in your world and your culture, but North America just doesn't understand. You wonder what your life would look like if you'd walked away. You are immersed, for better or for worse.
You were right in that there's like no happy ending because I
There
feel
is
like the
none.
endings are the same. Somehow they
They are.
feel equally, and I really hesitate to say like, well, you're in the culture that you came from, and it feels oppressive. I don't like the way that feels, and I think that's
But
probably the
it is
intention. That was maybe the intention.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it just feels like, well, I'm just stuck on a
Yep.
path that I was never really able to choose for myself,
Yep.
which
100%.
is true for a lot of people.
Yeah. And like
And it doesn't feel good.
no, it really doesn't. Like there's oppression in both of these worlds. Like you go into the Western world and you have to deal with white people, or you stay in your South Asian culture, but then you're having to deal with the ways in which South Asian culture tries to oppress you. Like there is no win, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was why I wanted both endings to be a non-win situation. Uh so you're doomed either way. Because like one of the problems that we didn't touch on, but it's like number 5 is people tell you how much they love butter chicken. And it's like, like it's so exhausting.
Say more.
Like
Say
that's
more.
it like the white people's only touchstone to Indian food and Indian culture being butter chicken.
Okay, I'm imagining in my head the intersection between myself and yourself. It was just saying like someone saying like, "Oh, I love fried chicken," or "I love
Yeah.
watermelon." It's like, bitch, what? Sorry,
Like
what? Yeah,
that's your
yeah.
only interaction with my culture and my food is butter chicken, the
Mm,
whitest version of Indian food. You know? And but it
mm.
is. And I've gotten that comment so many times. And it's like, so for example, that one I made +1 Indian because of that ending too, where it's just like, as an Indian person, you are so proud of your culture and you know that there's so much good stuff there. But I love curry is an exhausting statement. I love butter
Yo,
chicken. Fucking hell, go
wow,
away. Yeah, go
wow.
away. That's why that one is +1 Indian too, is because it's just like, go away, white people. Like, I want to deal with you. I want to be with my people who understand and people who
Yeah.
get it. So that is why that ending is the way it is because like, as an Indian person, you are just gonna keep getting comments like that. You know,
Mm,
you bring Indian food to work, people are gonna ask if it's curry. You know, they're just
yeah.
gonna ask those weird questions and like exotify whatever it is that you're doing because they're gonna ask questions because they're curious, and some of it is well-meaning, but it's not always like the nicest thing to have to deal with those microaggressions and like
Yeah.
that emotional labor all the time, and that is the downside of the Indian ending because you just gotta
Mm,
put up with it. You know, you're so immersed that there is no, you will always be an ambassador for your culture whether you like it or not.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
and I think, oh god, I have another one of kind of that tune. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We didn't hit on 12. You're constantly torn between your cultural expectations and your societal expectations. You've grown up in a culture that believes in putting others before yourself, and the world has taught you to put yourself before others. Um, which I still struggle with. Oh, there it is. 14. A nosy white person asked you if arranged marriages are still a thing. You are now the spokesperson for your culture as a teenager.
mm.
You are exhausted. These are the things that come with the Indian ending. You get all the food, all of the culture, all of the festivals, all of the fashion, and all the bullshit. Or the Western ending, where you leave all that bullshit behind and lose the colorfuls, the color, the flavor, the texture,
Mm,
or
yeah.
try to find it and make it happen in ways that you can. But will it ever truly feel like home?
No. No.
Yeah.
It's
You're gonna do your
heavy.
best, but yeah. There you go. Those are, those are the two endings and the two outcomes, and this is why they are the way they are. Oh, also, we did not hit on 11, hate your family in equal measure. 16, you study feminism. Find temporary solace in friends on the internet who understand your nerdy interests and difficult upbringing, and celebrate Diwali. But those are the other ones. Like, like these are all of these life experiences and the dilemmas that you face of like one foot in each world.
Dual cultures, yeah.
Dual cultures, one foot in each world. How do
Mm.
you reconcile all of that? And that is caged.
I love it because sometimes the best stories are ones with no ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you just
Yeah.
left to sit there and think, and you're like, oh man, it's a lot. And this game captures that
Yeah.
perfectly. That idea um of yeah, the theme of the game. You're just like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what
It's not.
huh?
No, it's really not a kind game at all.
Yeah.
Like it really is just such a bitch of a game. And yeah, I'm sorry for putting you through it. Thank you for playing.
No, I you dropped it, and I was like so excited, and I'm on my own journey, and I want to see other cultures because there's just so much I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
And this game gives me that opportunity to experience that, even in the smallest bit. Well, and the emotional side of it, because I'm
Yeah.
feeling like I need like a hug and another hot tea or something. Like,
No, absolutely valid.
yeah,
Absolutely 110% valid. Yeah. And then I'll read the PS because I feel like it is a good kind of like post credits care moment. PS. If you feel a sense of hopelessness after reading this, know that not all hope is lost. I am still here. I survived all of this somehow and came out the other end swinging, for better or for worse. My hope is to someday make a sequel about adulthood, with the same Western versus Indian friction, but with the sweetness of claiming your own space and distancing yourself from your parents and becoming your own person. Thank you for reading. So that is the thing that, despite all of this like hopeless bullshit, I want to remind you of. It is okay. You will survive, and you will find a way to come out swinging. And because this was my early 20s, in my later 20s, as I started to distance myself and become my own person, it is, like, is it perfect? No. I'm, some things are very Western in my life and some things are very Indian in my life, and it's hard to reconcile the two. But you make your own meaning. And that is what I hope that the sequel will eventually teach us, is that you make your own meaning and find joy in it, in making shit work. And I don't know what SRD I'll pick for that. Who knows? That's a future Leona problem. But this was the tale that I wanted to share for Identity Jam. Yeah. I don't know if you read the prose piece that was underneath.
Oh, I didn't, but I will. Or unless you want to read it, it's your award-winning.
I'm happy to read it. I feel like you were also about to say something, and I wanted to make sure that I let you say the thing, whatever you wanted to say.
I forgot what I was going to say already.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, I could read the thing. I haven't read this since grade 12, like out loud. This is nuts. It's called Caged. I'm here at the circus, and before me is a lion in a cage. A big ball of yellow fluff stuck inside cold metal walls, and I can hear him scream, "Freedom! Please give me freedom! This is the land of the true and strong and free, and yet I'm trapped." I understand the poor lion. He's expected to go into a ring every night and perform for an audience. Some days I feel as if I'm doing the same thing. I'm as trapped as he is, except my walls are the expectations of others. Their expectations are like angry bumblebees flying around and around as they revolve around my head. They whisper maliciously in my ears and critique me for who I am. "You need to be pretty, dearie. You're not pretty. You're gaining weight. Your breasts are too large. You don't fit into any of your clothes anymore. You must only dress a certain way. You must only love someone who is the same race as you. You mustn't behave like that. You mustn't speak to those people." And then another one comes and buzzes in my ear, and another, flying all around my head until all I can hear is their buzzing and their voices swirling around me. Buzz, 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 buzz. Everyone deals with stereotypes and expectations, but can someone please tell me why? Because these expectations are weighing me down. They feel like another 100 pounds on my shoulders, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's feeling this way. I have one request. All I ask is to be free of my cage. I don't want my childhood innocence, even though I'm a child at heart. I don't want to be old, weak, and weary. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to be a teenager. I don't want to be Indian, even though I'm damn proud to be, because people judge me for my skin culture and wanting to talk to me about butter chicken. I don't want my family, even though I love them, because they have caged me. I don't want your sympathy, because it's not going to help me. I want to love someone I want to love and not have to hide it from my family. I want to stop hearing about diets because I believe that I'm beautiful the way I am. I want to be free, and I want to be me. Yeah. I feel bad for that lion. I know how he feels, and I'd gladly trade places with him. I wrote that in grade 12. What the hell? What was I on?
That's that grade. That's that. Listen, that's what you write when you're that age. If you don't got one of those somewhere, did you even live? Everyone's got that, like, I'm going through it. And it feels very isolating sometimes when that age, because you don't really know how to communicate. And also you don't know if there's someone you can't communicate to. It's powerful. And this game, I think, was very... I've never played a game that was someone's life and allowed me to empathize in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think mission accomplished.
Thank you. I'm very thankful that you wanted to go there and play this and hear about all of these things that I have lived through. And like, it is a lot. But like I said, I survived. I think I've turned out okay despite everything. And it will be okay, Rest assured that Galindi has her outcome, but she'll make it work and she will find a way.
Yeah.
That is Caged. I hope it sets you free. Thank you. I would not have been able to like talk about this game if it was not for you being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Shall we do the outros?
Let's go. Yeah.
You go first.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Leona.
It's weird. Awkward.
I'm being weird today, and we're just embracing it. I'm full of the strange energy today, and I think it's just because I've had to go through this whole thing where it's just like it's all the vulnerability, right? I think that's part of it. So I'm embracing the weird. But hello, everyone. My name is Leona. My name is Leona Neal Maple. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky and all over the internet at the Leona Maple. TheLeonMaple.card.co is an excellent place to find me to keep up with all of the places and all of the things that I publish and all that jazz. You can find my game on itch if you would like to buy it, if you would like to support this painful ass creation. My 20 years of life that I just chucked into this document. But thank you. I wrote it for Identity Jam 2023 with inspiration from Peach Garden Games. All of that stuff is on the itch page as well. It uses the second guest system SRD by Gamenomicon. So please go check out those phenomenal folks too. Please go check out Identity Jam. There's so many cool, beautiful games in there that are identities in so many unique ways. Like some of them are real pretty in some ways, like some of them are real weird. Like there's a little bit of everything, but it's like Identity Jam is really cool because it's about people telling stories that are unique to them in some way. And if you're on the jam page and you click on a thing, there was a question that we were asked when we submitted our games, which is like, how does this represent you and your identity? And so you can kind of read this little like explanation blurb from the creators, like about their submission, and then you can like go to the actual submission after that and like check it out and like download it or pay for it or whatever you want to do. But yeah, so please check out Identity Jam. It is on till the end of this month. It got extended, so please do check it out. That is all for me. Thank you for being here and feeling the pain with me.
Aww.
I know I laughed through it, but that's my coping mechanism.
Listen, you can't cry all the time. No one can cry all the time, and that's sometimes it feels like we can, but it's unsustainable.
Truly.
Everyone, my name is Mark J. It's been a pleasure to be here to play this game with Leona. I saw Leona post this, and I was like, shouldn't we be like yelling about this shit all the time? And now that I'm playing about it, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we're trying to keep it a little quiet. No, I'm just kidding. I personally was trained to empathize with people and also had trauma, so I empathize with people because of that. So this is a powerful game for me. I've also interviewed Leona on my own podcast, Nuneshot, Noneshot, Nuneshot Podcast with Mark J.
So good.
I think I was maybe first or second episode, but you can check out our interview there on Spotify or on the Apocalyptic Unlimited website, which is where you're watching this stream right now. Apocalyptic Unlimited, we are here to uplift the voices of people of color in the TTRPG space. We have a zine. We have games, we have streams, we're doing so much. We're taking a little bit of a break. I'm still working because I can't stop. Like I'm just like, yeah, let's just run some games and record them and put them in places. Anyway, we are taking a little bit of a break until after the new year because people need to just relax and stress out, and we're just here to not stress ourselves out. The world wants us to burn out, to work so hard that there's nothing left of us. So we are taking a little bit of a break, but we're still gonna have fun with games like this potentially, and and Retsev is gonna be here to support everything we do. Retsev, I apologize, I couldn't get Retsev do their Patreon tier. They were meant to have a character, NPC character in a game, and I couldn't get it to Connie in time for the Junction game. But the character names were like Butt Segs and like J Dongle and stuff like that. That's what I have in the email from Retsev. It's not really. So I couldn't get that to Connie in time for the Junction game. But In upcoming games, we will be using Reta's cool names for NPCs, and you too can get your NPC named if you follow our Patreon. Become a patron. There's low tiers, there's high tiers. Yeah, I know. There's so many tiers, but they all support us. Every little bit supports everything we do, including games like this. Uh, so yeah, that's all I got. Check me out at More the Merrier. It's literally right there on the bottom corner of the screen. So, whew. If that's it, Leona,
Take us out.
we're gonna decompress.